Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Old Bloke Crypto on May 29, 2024, where nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons to subscribe to our channel and be notified of future videos by hitting on that notification bell. And as I say here on the splash screen, good week we've had so far. A nice little trade closing out at 38.45 here, with a nice little win, and I put these on our Twitter page as well as here on our videos, just to accountability perspective, not a bragging I'm the best trader in the world, blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of shillers out there, plenty of crypto larps, so to speak, who would like to say that they know what they're doing, but really don't, and don't have skin in the game, but are just basically parasites on the crypto body. So very rarely will you see that them posting any trades like this. So I do this for accountability's sake and to show you that, yes, you can do it. If I can do it, anyone can. So where are we at the moment? Well, how exciting this is. This is the ETH BTC chart, which on the daily, you've heard me refer to this on most videos, and certainly it's such a big indicator of where we're at. And you can see here on the daily, this brownie coloured line here is the 200 EMA, and we're well above that now. We've been above that on a number of occasions, haven't held, and we've come back down and quite substantially below the 21 and the 50, more importantly, the 50 EMA. We've come right down below the long-term range bottom, right down to a major range bottom, really a new range bottom of 46.046, and that's where we bounced, as you can see here. And we've just gone gangbusters since then to the upside. So what's to say this is going to hold? Well, this is crypto, and it might not hold. Absolutely, but as we get further into the bull phase, there's more and more likelihood that this will be it, and that we'll then continue to the upside, and then the other alts will follow. But we just play it level to level, day to day, trade to trade. So watching this to see if it comes back and touches a 200 EMA and goes again, which it might well do, or it might just continue to grind to the upside. But certainly at the moment, it's a really good sign for those of us who trade ETH primarily that things are looking good, things are looking up. And of course, we always look at the macro side of things. So looking at this week's events, and there's a whole lot of not much happening really, indicating that most likely to continue grinding onwards and upwards. We've got two of the most significant events, so the preliminary GDP quarter on quarter, and I'm looking at US because really when you're looking at these pages with these crypto economic calendars, just don't waste your time looking at things like Europe, Australia, etc. As we say in Australia, they're a pimple on a flea's bum. The market is the US. Okay, so let's look at the US and ignore everything else. And you've got core PCE, which the Fed does take notice of course. And so it should, but again, they're not expected to have too much of an impact on the market of where we're at. It's pretty much steady as she goes, so we don't have to take too much notice of or trade around the macro events. It's not like there's going to be an interest rate update or a major statement by Jerome Powell coming up. But this is far more important from a macro and a crypto perspective, as posted by this on this channel on Twitter, which I follow, and is a good information channel. And as he says here, BlackRock IBIT, that's their ETF fund, it surpasses GBTC in total assets under management. Big deal, because GBTC, they're in big trouble, and rightly so. Short version, long story, a lot of outflows happening from their super expensive fund and going into the other ETFs, and primarily BlackRock is the biggest boy on the block. And so the fact is that, as you would probably know, there's a lot of money flowing into these ETFs, and so now they're really starting to gather steam. They already have, of course, but increasing. So this is all a good sign that overall the market is going to continue, as well as being in the bull phase, as it should be in this stage of the 4-yearly cycle, but it's also going to continue, at the very least, grinding to the upside as a result of these flows just coming in from institutions, pension funds, all sorts of things. You're hearing news every day coming in. So it's really, this is the macro event to be paying attention to this week and in the weeks to come. And speaking of macro events, and related to that is TradFi, we'll just look at these indices at the moment, and it's happy, that's for sure. Yes, the VIX is up. Absolutely. It's been in historical lows, so it's no surprise there. But again, each day the S&P, the NASDAQ, just continues to grind generally in the high direction. The Dixie's up a little bit, but it's been on a downtrend in recent times as well. And so that's an example of there's not a whole lot of concern right now in the trad fund market. Yes, they're at all-time highs, etc., etc. That's obviously of concern, something to watch, but it's not something that's imminent that we've got to take our money off the table. And as a cautionary note, funding rates are starting to creep up now. You see Bitcoin's nearly 19% and Ethereum is 20%. So these sort of levels indicating that there's more longs coming into the market. Yes, indeed there is. More money coming into the market, of course. But it's just something to pay attention to as these creep high, to keep an eye on your funding rates, because, if they get really ridiculous, out of hand, they get up around that 100%, etc., or towards that 100%, that's when you really want to think about taking your money off the table. But so far, so good. And of course, before we actually get into the trade positions I am taking and have taken, let's have a look at the good old liquidity rates, because as I always say, follow the money. Show me the money, as Tom Cruise said in that famous movie, and it's so true. It is so true. So we're looking at the 3-day rates now. We've got pretty much an even spread, which shows that since we've had these big wipeouts of the longs, we've had the shorts up here, etc. On the 3-day, there's again lots of liquidity flowing in here, as you can see on both sides, billions of dollars flowing in on both sides to the top and the bottom, pretty much even. But it's a different story when we go to the weekly. So the good thing is plenty of liquidity, which makes plenty of volatility, which is great for us as traders. And of course, being in the bull phase, well, the general moves to the upside. And if you have a look here, look at that, another $6 billion. You remember back here, I was saying the other day on Twitter particularly, that it was asking for trouble, and it was over 5 billion. This is Binance alone, got taken out when the price wicked up, and it took out those highs there. But what it did, as it often does, is it left this liquidity band to the upside. Classic behavior by the market makers. He'll be back for this coming up towards the $4,000 level. And what are we up to now? Nearly $6 billion on Binance alone, sitting there close to $4,000. He's coming for it. It's a matter of time. So, where do we trade? Now, as I always say, you do you make your own decisions. But this is a simple strategy that you can use on the low time frame. If you want position size, is up to you. I'm generally using the 1.25 size, ETH size, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. You'll see currently I've got a position, it's $40 in the red at the moment. But anyway, it opened at basically the same level that I closed the other trade at. And what I'm doing is I'm adding 1.25 ETH every $50. So $38.50, $3,800 if we get down to that, $3,900, $3,950, and I'm going to stop there at $3,950. And so I would love to see the bears push price down back down to the mid-range from a greedy perspective, and then I would be adding again to my long position. But as you can see here, and this is again on the daily, grind, to steadily moving to the upside towards these yearly highs. This is, unless my exit triggers fire beforehand, I'm going to close this position out if and when it hits the yearly high, because price almost inevitably reacts around major highs, yearly highs, all-time highs, etc. And that's enough for me. Now, thing is, two things there. One is, remember to pay yourself. You don't pay yourself, you make nothing. Secondly, price may blow straight through this 4,300 or whatever. Well, good. But the thing is, if you've taken and been disciplined with your stops and set your stops, you've got the money in the bank, and then you can look at the trade setups and go from there for the next one. So you need to have a plan, you need to stick to it. And so for me, that's what I'm doing. As I said, if price comes down here, greedy me would love that to happen. I'll be adding every $50, 1.25 ETH will go into my long position. And if it just continues to grind to the upside, I will sit there and wait till we get to $4,102 to be precise, and take and close that out unless my exit triggers. Now I've set this as a automatic take profit stop, but if my exit triggers fire in the meantime, before that, then I will close my position out, because it's indicating that we're getting to a top for this particular trade. So again, you've got to have a plan. Stick to your plan. You need to be a man or a woman with a plan. Just to wind up, going back to that splash screen, this trade which I closed out on Monday, it's not because I'm the world's best trader or anything like that. It's because I'm just an ordinary trader who's been around a long time, who's got the discipline and experience to do these things. But you can do just the same thing. Just got to have your stops set, have a plan, stick to your plan. And when I close out this current trade, I'll share that on Twitter as well, which in my opinion, it'll be sometime this week. that price will grind up into that next take profit stop. We shall see. As always with crypto, stay safe with your trading, and I will talk to you next time.